In today's CaneClips, I'm going to take you for a tour of the Meringa Crossing facilities with the aim of showing you the importance of sugarcane crossing and what it takes to go about doing this. In fact, behind me is a result of last year's crossing effort, which can amount to up to 28,000 individual varieties. Let's begin the tour. So I'm here with Felicity Atkin at the main crossing facility for the Australian sugar industry. Firstly, Felicity, why is it important to have a crossing program?
Well, we actually, for us to have a crossing program, this is a way for us to create new genetic variation by crossing two parents together, and this is how this forms the basis then for our selection program. By crossing parent A with parent B together, we actually resort the genes and create new genetic variation in which we then select from in our selection program across the 4 regions.
So how is the 2013 crossing season going?
Oh, good question. On average, we make approximately 1,500 crosses each year in the field. In a good year, we can make as many as 2,500. Last year, we only made just over 700. This year, we'd be lucky to make 450 crosses. Now, the reason for this is the process for floral initiation in sugarcane. It's quite temperature dependent, and any temperatures above 32 degrees unfortunately inhibit that process. And we actually had some high temperatures during that initiation process back in February, March, and we're actually seeing the results of that now with a small percentage of our parents flowering this year. This means we have reduced number of parents, reduced number of combinations we can actually make.
I think we can also see those effects out in the field visually this year as well.
Flowering actually came in a couple of weeks later this year. I'm not sure whether that's due to the temperatures, the high temperatures we had during initiation, or whether it was also due to the moisture stress that we had here during the peak growing season.
How do you make the crosses that we can see behind us?
Well, we usually go out and inspect the parent blocks twice a week. We actually go out and have a look to see which parents are flowering and how many flowers we've got of each of those parents. We've got approximately 1,000 parents that we visually inspect twice a week. What we're looking for is when the anthers just at the top of the flower are just starting to open. We know that these parents are ready to use for crossing. We then pinch off a sample of each of those parents and take them back into the lab, where we actually determine whether they are male or female. And then this information is used to determine which parents we actually match together for the cross-pollination process. What we do is we tease out the anthers from each of the samples, and we stain the pollen under a microscope. And anything with at least 20% viable pollen is actually used as a male. Anything less than 20% is used as a female. Once we know what males and females we actually have, we use various types of information to determine which of those parents we match together. These include their breeding potential, so the potential of that variety, that parent, to pass on their favourable genes to their offspring. We also use disease information, and we also use pedigree information. We don't really want to match brother and sister together. So once we know which parents we actually want to cross, we go back out and we relocate those flowers, and we actually cut them and bring them over here to the crossing paddock, where we put them up into the lanterns. The lanterns are used for controlled pollination. It actually stops pollen penetrating, so we actually get controlled pollination. We know that that male is actually fertilizing that female. And as you can see, in putting the flowers up into the lanterns, we always make sure that the male is above the female, so he can actually drop his pollen onto the female and fertilize her. The flowers actually stay in the lanterns for 2 weeks. It takes just under 2 weeks for the flower to mature from top to bottom, so we can make sure that we get a good seed set. Then after the 2 weeks, the male's done his job. We actually throw him away and we keep the female for at least another 3 weeks. And then the seed is harvested from the female and packed away in the seed store, ready for use the following year to germinate as the first stage of the selection program.
For more information on the BSES crossing program, you can go to the BSES website under Varieties to the information pages.